welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today's video is going to be a very exciting video. I have a review, some swatches, and demo all about the brand new LORAC Mega Pro 3 palette. I was able to get my hands on this from Ulta as a Platinum Point Perk member. I think I got this about a week ago, so it's been a little while. I've been playing with it, testing it out. I'm so excited about this. If you want to get your hands on this, it does come out today at Ulta and Ulta.com. So if you've been eyeing this for a while, this is limited edition, so I highly recommend going to your local Ulta or going online ASAP and placing your order for this, because I feel like this is going to be a very hot item this winter and it's going to sell super fast, probably before Christmas, just like the first one. So I have a feeling this is going to be a hit, and it is absolutely beautiful. I have been playing with it for a little bit and I love it. I feel like out of every single holiday palette that is coming out so far, this was the one I was most excited about, and I knew immediately that when it came out on Ulta.com for the Platinum members that I had to get it. I was actually a little nervous because when UPS brought it to me, my box was like super smashed. This box, as you can see, it has like a dent in it, and I was like, there's no way that this baby is gonna be broken. I'm praying to God that this isn't broken, and I opened it and it was like sent from the heavens that nothing happened to it. Everything was fine, thank goodness, but I am super excited about this. I love LORAC's products. I love their eyeshadows. I think they're absolutely amazing, so I was hoping that this was gonna be just as good or even better than all the other palettes that they have right now. So I thought I would do a video on this for you all and even compare it to the other LORAC Pro Mega palettes that they have, and I have all of the other 3 Pro palettes, the smaller ones, to compare it to if you were interested in seeing the comparisons between those. And I'll also do swatches and a little demo of the eye look I have going on right now. So if you were interested in seeing my review, some swatches, and a demo all about the LORAC Mega Pro 3 palette, then just keep on watching. Alright, so this palette again comes in a box like this. I picked mine up from Ulta. If you want to get it today, go run to your store right now. This retails for $59. It is limited edition, so again, if you want this, do not hesitate. It will probably sell super fast, so make sure you get your hands on it if you have been eyeing it. But this is what the packaging looks like. From my memory, I feel like it looks very different than the other 2 LORAC Mega Pro palettes that I have, but I love that they kind of put the colors on the outside, so if you're wanting to see what is on the inside, you can definitely make your decision by looking at the colors on the outside of the box. This says it is a limited edition Pro Artistry palette that is packed with 32 eyeshadows in all matte and shimmer shades you need to create the hottest look straight from Hollywood. LORAC's velvety smooth shadows are ultra pigmented with maximum payoff to perform wet or dry, so you can shade, shadow, line, and define your eyes just like a pro. So that is super awesome. I love LORAC shadows. I think they're absolutely amazing. They're buttery. They do pick up a lot of product, but I feel like once they're on your eyes, they blend out like a dream. I had no issues blending out some of the darker colors I have on my eyes right now, and I absolutely love it. And then this is what the packaging looks like for the palette. It's absolutely beautiful. It is white. It feels just like the other LORAC palettes that I have. It's already getting dirty, and I've only used this a couple of times, which is very annoying. It's gonna happen. It comes with the territory of having a white palette that's kind of like that velvety feeling. Kind of feels like NARS a little bit if you've never felt one of these palettes. But this is what it looks like. It has the rose gold embossing of the lettering, which is absolutely beautiful. It does have a really nice size mirror. I don't want to blind you, but it does fold all the way back, which is super nice if you are kind of into that kind of palette, because there's a lot of palettes that don't do that and it's really annoying. So this is what the eyeshadows look like. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? They're very neutral, but with some pops of color, which I really appreciate. There's some warm tones in here, there's some cool tones, there's some neutral tones, there's a little bit of everything. I feel like this is the perfect like bridal palette as well, because there's so much more like warmth and elegance to this than a lot of the other Mega Pro palettes that I have. So I love this. I think it's my favorite one out of the 3. I will compare them to the other 2 in just a little bit. I wanted to let you guys know about the eyeshadows and how much you're getting. You are getting a net weight of 0.05 ounces for the entire palette, or 12.8 grams. This palette is made in the US. I know there's a lot of controversy over a lot of other companies and brands that are outsourcing their products and ingredients to China to make and manufacture products super quickly and in demand because it's a holiday season and they like to sell a lot. But this is actually made in the US, just like all the other Mega Pro palettes and the other Pro palettes. The ingredients and the formula is like the exact same to the other LORAC Pro palettes that I have, which is amazing because their formula is beautiful. If you are a beginner, I would actually recommend using these because yes, they are super pigmented. They do pick up a little bit of product, but they blend out so easily that I feel like it's like hassle-free, mess-free makeup if you were learning to blend or the color techniques to kind of put things together on the eyes. So I would highly recommend this palette if you are a beginner and you're looking for something that's a little bit more grandiose than one of the little pro palettes that they do have. This is such a good deal. You have 2 rows of matte shades and 2 rows of just shimmer shades. If you've looked at this in person, if you've never seen one of these palettes before, it can be a little overwhelming, just like the Morphe palettes or any of the palettes that have a lot of different colors in there and different shade ranges. But this, I feel like everything just kind of nicely goes together. The color tones of this palette, I think, just work well together. You have a bunch of neutral colors, both matte and shimmer shades. You have some warm, again, some cool shades, but then you have some pops of color like this one, which is called Pomegranate. You have Rust, which is a beautiful, warm, shimmery orange. You have a nice silver. So there are pops to different colors in here, but this is more of a neutral palette in my opinion. But it's so pretty. Again, if you've never picked one of these up, I highly recommend it. They are some of my favorite eyeshadows. So before I get into the swatches, I kind of want to hold this up in comparison to the other 2 palettes that I have. So I'm going to start off with the first LORAC Mega Pro palette. This sold out in I feel like a day. It was nuts. I don't think they were expecting the demand for this palette like it was. But this is what the inside looks like. Again, it has the same mirror, same everything, same layout. It's absolutely beautiful, and I will show you the comparison between the 2. So as you can see, the LORAC Mega Pro is on the right and the Mega Pro 3 is on the left. You can see there's a big difference in the 2 palettes. This one I feel like has a lot more pops of color. This palette has a lot of pinks in it. There's Merlot, Mulberry, Orchid, Dusty Plum, as well as a lot of cool toned grays. So there's Stone, Smoky Topaz, Cashmere. So I feel like this one's very, very different than the new one, which I feel like a lot more people are gonna get a lot more use out of this one. So again, that is what the first one looks like in comparison to the new one. And then comparing the second Mega Pro, this is what it looks like. This actually has the same amount of product as the third one. This one actually has more. It has 0.62 ounces total net weight for a total of 17.6 grams. I feel like they gave you a lot of product in this first one, but now it is not as much product, which is okay. You're still getting a ton of stuff in here. I don't think I'll ever be able to finish one of these palettes unless you're like a makeup artist who does clients all the time. But this is what the second one looks like. It's definitely more cool tone, but I love that LORAC has been able to change every single one of these palettes and create something brand new. I think there are only 2 return shades in the Mega Pro 3 palette. It's amazing that they've been able to create multiple of these palettes that are completely different colors. I mean, they look very similar in some of them, but they're completely different when you swatch them or put them on the eyes. So again, this is the second one. I do not gravitate towards this one as much. I feel like it just doesn't really calm my name with all the different colors in it. It's a lot more cool toned. You have some nice neutrals in there, but the pops of different colors don't really speak to me, but I like having this in my collection because I am a collector. So this is what the 2 look like. As you can see, they are very different. A lot of people are saying that this new LORAC Pro Mega 3 palette looks exactly like the other ones. I do not agree with that at all. I think they look completely different. All the shades in here pretty much, again, are new. There's 30 new shades in here, so I don't know how people are getting that or where people are seeing that, but they are completely different. So that was the LORAC Mega Pro 2. And I think the other LORAC Pro palette that a lot of people are comparing this to is the brand new Pro 3. That is what the palette looks like. I feel like this is going to be the closest resemblance to the new Mega Pro 3 palette. As you can see, they're very, very similar, but none of the shades I found in this one are identical to this. They might be really, really close, but there's nothing that is an exact dupe. So here are the 2 side by side. As you can see, the LORAC Mega Pro 3 is very neutral toned compared to this one. This one has a pops of everything in there, like I was mentioning before. And then since I have them out, I will be just comparing them quickly to the other LORAC Pro palettes that I have. So I have the second one. This is the cool toned one. I really prefer this new palette. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And then last but not least, I have the first Pro palette. I think this is like everyone's cult favorite palette. I've used this a bunch. But again, you can see there's nothing that stands out that's completely the same. There are some of the more transitional shades like cream and white that are very similar, but they're not anything exactly dupable. Here on top of each other, if that makes it any easier to kind of see what the shadows look like. I am obsessed with this. This is going to be perfect if you are a makeup artist and you do a lot of brides. I think brides are going to love this. This is just like a bridal palette in my opinion. It's so beautiful. I think this is great for the everyday person as well. If you like a lot of matte shades and transition shades, there are so many beautiful ones to choose. I'll show you again up close. I mean, these right here are just so stunning, and then these ones down here, I was playing with those today on my eyes. Let's get into some of these swatches so you guys can see just how beautiful this palette is. And again, there is the 2 rows of mattes and then the 2 rows of shimmer. So here is what the first row of swatches looks like. You guys can see just how pigmented and buttery those matte shades are. They're super, super nice. They were just like one swipe and they're completely good color payoff. I love the matte shades in here because they're so pigmented and buttery. You do get a bit of kick up when you use a brush in these products, but I do find that even though this is a super, super messy palette, you guys can see just how gross mine is already, and I've only used it for a little bit. It's super messy, but the eyeshadow effect that you're gonna get on your lids when you blend it out with a brush or even use a flat shader brush is absolutely beautiful. The pigmentation is insane. I think the only one that's lacking somewhat pigmentation, it's a little bit chalky, is the dark navy one on the very bottom. And then here are swatches of the second row. I got a little carried away. Sorry, I had to put some on the side. The one that is kind of a dud, in my opinion, on this one is actually one I'm wearing. It's called Bark. It is right here. It's that top one on the side. As you can see, it's a little bit dry compared to the other matte shades. It's not super, super pigmented like the other ones, but when I used it with a brush, it had to be built up just a little bit more than all the other ones that I experienced in this palette, but it's still a gorgeous color that blends out really easily. I don't feel like it's a super bad shadow. I just feel like it's not as pigmented. It's a little bit more drying compared to the other creamy, super smooth and buttery shadows that you're used to with the LORAC shades. So again, this is the second row of mattes. Now moving on to the first row of shimmer shades. Look at how stunningly pigmented these are. Look at those first four. These ones are so pretty. I'm actually wearing the first three right there on my lid right now. You guys will see that in the demo, but these are some of the most buttery and creamy and super, super metallically finished shadows. Like, look at how pigmented those are. You guys can just see the dimension in these. I definitely think this is my favorite row of shadows in this palette just because of how beautifully neutral they are, as well as super pigmented, super metallic, and super foiled. They look beautiful on the lid. And then here is the last row of shadows. I think this one has the most kind of like pops of color. So you have this beautiful one on the top here, right there. It's called Pomegranate. And then look at that licorice color. It's so pretty. It's super pigmented. It actually doesn't have a lot of shimmer in there, but it's still a really, really nice black with a little bit of a metallic finish. So pretty. Again, that is the very last row right here. And that olive color is just gorgeous. You don't really see typically an olive color in a lot of palettes, which I think is really cool. So this one does have, again, some pops of color. I love the formula of these shadows. They're very, very true to the typical LORAC formula that we're all used to. So if you do love that, you're going to absolutely adore this. I think this is a big hit. I think it's an amazing steal for the price you're paying for how many shadows you're getting. Yes, it is a little bit smaller than the first LORAC Mega Pro palette, but you're still getting so many shadows. Unless you're a makeup artist that's going to go through these and use these every single day or every other day or a weekend for clients, you're never gonna probably go through this. For me as a collector, I love this. I'm definitely gonna be keeping this and using it in my collection. It's so stunning. I think this is the best one out of all three of them. I'm absolutely in love with this palette. Again, comes out today at Ulta and Ulta.com, and if you haven't checked it out, definitely just go inside the store and swatch it. See it for yourself in person. It is beautiful. I highly recommend it. If you want to see my quick little demo on the eye look I have going on right now using this new palette, then just keep on watching.
Never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right, it feels right, yeah. I can only say that it feels right. It feels right, it feels right, yeah. I can only say that it feels right. Going with the gut, never had a doubt, felt like this is just a must. Put me in perspective, I'm the deepest in the cut. Everybody tuning in, but this is just for us now. We know I ain't ballin' yet, hoes wanna holler, oh no, I don't call them back. Girl, let me see you hold it down, we gon' have a blast. Cause I just wanna know what you gonna do with all of that. Ain't gotta say a word, I know it's up, you can have it all. Watch me rip it off, I'll admit it. You got me feeling hella loved. Even when it's going down, know that we gon' live it up. Young shot caller, always been a baller. Know that you the one, I can feel it in my heart. Yeah, I won't stop charging, we going come harder. I can see you and I, way beyond the stars, girl. I can never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right. It feels right.
So that's it for this video. I hope you all really liked it. Please give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it and you found it helpful. Subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. I love you all so much, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!